I spent so much time creating for money, clients, and work that I forgot what it felt like to make something just for me. And for this next chapter of my life, I wanted to create something special, something physical, something I could look at every day and remember who I am outside of the work. So I thought about framing some of my own photos. And this is the journey of creating for myself first. In 3, 2, 1.
Give it a second.
One of the most difficult things that you can be right now is an artist. Not because making art is difficult, but because of the money. One of the things that I've really been thinking about is just working in a space where I feel like I can be completely myself. But to truly be myself, I need to start with my art. And that starts off with this wall. When I first started doing photography and video, it was before everything was considered content. Back when being a YouTuber was all I wanted to be. At that time, I wanted to just shoot downtown photos, and it just so happens that I also love to shoot at night. So when I was coming up with the concept for my wall, I wanted to take photos of the day and night. I took a few photos and got distracted by this area, and then I saw a few cars and I thought it could look kind of cool, and then I realized these two photos are the same building. One was day and one was night. Being the same building at different times just hit me. I guess it's kind of the duality of time. At one part of the day, everything can be one way, but at night, it all changes. It reminds me that not everything stays the same, even if it's the same building. Because of that, I figured these would be the photos that I would first ever frame and hang up. This is more of an ode to the old me and to the new me. Here it is. Oh wow. So here is photo 1, and then, oh wow, this is so cool, bro, just to have this. Of course the frames are a lot smaller than it should be. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go late run to Michael's, because I really do want to put those up, or at least have them framed so they don't get messed up. So this is actually my first time framing anything I've ever shot. Which is kind of funny because I've been doing photography and video for about 7 years now, but I've never really printed something, framed it, and made it feel permanent. And even this ended up taking a lot longer than I expected. The first frame I bought, it didn't fit. The second frame worked, but then I started getting air bubbles and warping. So after trying to figure it out by myself for about a week and a half, I finally took the photos to Michael's to get them framed properly. I get so caught up with time that I never work on my own projects. But personal projects teach you so much. They teach you patience. They force you to slow down, to solve unpredictable problems, and to actually care about the details. And I think that's the part I forget when life gets busy. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and out of juice after work. But every time I work on my own projects, I end up learning something I wouldn't have learned if I was only creating for work. So when I hang these frames, it reminds me that I need to work on my own stuff first. They're a reminder of why I started creating in the first place. And I have to remember the main reason why I started, and that was to just express myself. The hardest part of all of this wasn't seeing the final result. It's actually doing it. I like to think of myself as someone who can figure things out, but I'm definitely not the handiest person in the world. I probably overplanned how I was going to hang these frames. It would have been easier if I was only hanging one, but I wanted 2 large frames side by side with about 4 inches of space in between them. So I measured the wall, I used a laser level to find the center point above my desk, and then used painter's tape to map out where the frames would go before I committed to anything. Once I felt good about the placement, I added the command strip to the back of the frames and started hanging them up. Then I used the laser one more time to make sure everything was lined up. And honestly, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. The only mistake I made was not prepping the wall with alcohol before putting the strips on, so one of the frames fell. But honestly, that's the thing about personal projects. They're personal, and if you pay attention, they're usually teaching you something. For me, this wasn't just about hanging frames. It was about learning how to not let the fact that I don't know how to do something stop me from doing it. So don't rush the process and give yourself room to figure it out.